Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. Yesterday we finally finished our 12 Days of Christmas album, and today is going to be the last day of our series. We are making the box that this huge album goes into. Now, I did make the base of the box already, and I made most of the other pieces. And if you do need a little more guidance on how to do this, I will link a video down in the description below. But it is pretty simple. For the box base, I did 4 inches for the sides, and then 7 3/4 for the top and bottom, and 9 1/4 for the sides. And the base is 7 3/4 by 9 1/4. And then for the lid, the sides are all 1.5 inches. The top and bottom are 8 inches, and then the sides are 9.5. And then for the large piece, which I will show you how to do, it's 8 by 9.5. And then the papers for everything I will link down below, or I will put in the description down below so that you have all that information. I will do both the 8.5 by 11 sheets and the 12 by 12s because I did make the box for 8.5 by 11 sheets as well. So you can go either way on that. So for the base of the box and the lid, it's a full 8.5 by 11 sheet. And the spacing is going to be a little different because the chipboard is larger than normal. So the sides are going to be 1/4 inch, and then the top and the bottom is going to be 2.5, 1 1/4. Or no, 3/4. Sorry. Top and bottom are going to be 3/4. So the way I found easiest to do this is to just line everything up on my mat here, and then grab rulers or spacers, whichever one you have, to help with the spacing. And I am just going to use these 2 1/2-inch rulers and then just kind of figure out where the other part is when I lay it down. It's not going to be perfect, but just do your best. So you want to fold your paper around your chipboard just like this. And then we're going to take our scissors, and there is a little triangle on all four sides right here. Going to cut that out, and then we're going to miter the corners just like this. Okay, let me show you. So cut out the corners like that, and then cut a little triangle off of the 1/4 inch side, and then a slightly larger triangle on the 3/4 inch side, just like that. And we're going to do that to all 4 corners. Now, if you forget to do the next step before mitering like I did, it is okay. We can still do it. Going to take our bone folder and carefully run it along the edges of the chipboard, just like this, to crease the cardstock along the chipboard. And then we want some score tape or glue if you don't like using score tape. I'm just going to put some score tape on all 4 sides of my cardstock around my chipboard. And then, because I find it easier to do it this way, I'm going to take the backings off all 4 of my score tape pieces. I put on my cardstock. And now we can attach the tabs. So I'm going to start with the 1/4 inch sides because they're smaller, and I'm just going to run glue along the edges just like this. And I'm going to take my burnishing tool and run my cardstock along my chipboard like so, and then I can fold my cardstock over on top of my chipboard. And because this is 1/4 inch or less, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, but take your time and get it stuck as good as you can, because it will work. Now I'm going to do that to the opposite side. Then just brush it down with your bone folder. And then the 2 larger tabs, I'm going to add glue to the 2 corners just like this, and then along the chipboard, just so that my two ends get stuck down really well. I just fold this over on top of our chipboard, and again burnish it down really good. And then the last side. Then I just like to check to make sure that my corners aren't poking out, and I'm good on that. So this is fully done. Now this is a box. All your chipboard pieces are going to be done the exact same way, just like I showed you. To connect all the pieces, you need hinges. For the lid, you need 4 pieces that are 2 by 1.5, 2 pieces that are 2 by 8, and then 2 pieces that are 2 by 9.5. And then they get scored at 1 inch on the 2-inch side down the center. Then we're just going to fold them all in the center like this. And then we're going to miter the ends, starting at the fold line going out, so that they end up looking like this. And you're going to do that to all of your hinge pieces. Now you need your 8 by 9.5 inch chipboard that we covered. And we want our larger hinges. If you're using score tape like I am, you want to make sure to put it about a 1/16 to an 1/8 inch away from the scored edge, because when we put it on, you don't want to see the scored tape peeking out. That goes the same with the glue. You don't want to put it too close to the center fold of the hinge. We are going to put our hinges on our chipboard. And I like doing 2 opposite sides and then the other 2 sides. So I'm going to start with the longer 2 sides so that my cardstock doesn't come off. The hinge will help keep the cardstock stuck down to the chipboard. So then I'm going to do the opposite side. And the other 2 sides. And because the cardstock tabs are shorter than the hinges, if you are using 8.5 by 11 paper, the hinges will keep the tabs on the cardstock because they're longer than the chipboard cardstock. So there's our 4 large hinges, and now we're going to attach our side pieces. So they're going to go just like this. So take one of your hinges, and you want to do this with everything laying flat. Add glue to your hinge. And then push your side against the base and then fold the hinge over like so. I'm going to show you again. Keeping everything flat. Add your glue to your hinge. Push the side against the base and then lay the hinge on top of the side piece. And then we just have to do the other 2 sides. Same exact way. Once the sides are on, we need to grab the smaller hinges and we're going to attach them to just 2 sides. And I tend to like doing them to the 2 shorter sides, so that's what I'm going to do with this one. You want to attach just one side of your hinge to the short sides. So we're going to take one hinge and attach it to side like this. And I'm going to grab another hinge and attach it to the opposite side. Like this. So now you have 2 hinges on one of our sides. I'm going to rotate it to the opposite side, and we are going to attach our last 2 hinges to this side. now that we have our hinges on, we can attach them to the other sides. So I'm going to start with one, add your glue, and then you want to lay the other side onto it so that the hinge lines up. The score part of your hinge lines up with the edge of the side, like so. Gonna do the next side. Add your glue. And then line the side of your chipboard piece to the center score of your hinge. And you want it to be like this so that your box is square. If you did it with when the edges of your side on the table like this, it won't end up square. I have my sides all connected, and I have this piece of cardstock that I cut down to fit inside my top here, and it's about 3/4 smaller than my base chipboard. Just going to plop it right in the center and stick it down, and that just locks the hinges in place and covers the chipboard. And that's how you make a box. To decorate, I'm going to start with my base here. And I cut these 4 pieces. They're from the same paper. Actually, I had to cut from my second pack of pattern paper for the 4th piece, and they're the cover sheets. So I'm just going to glue them on all 4 sides of my box base here. For the ephemera on the base, I have this little placket thing that I'm gonna put close to the bottom. Try to center it as best as I can. And there you go. That's the base. And now we can put our album inside. The album might be slightly taller than the box. That is perfectly fine with me. If you want it, if you want the box to be taller than the album, just make the sides like 4.5, 5 inches instead of 4. You will still be able to use 8.5 by 11 sheets if you do that. For the lid, I'm using this paper. And for my ephemera, I have these corner pieces. And they mirror each other, so if you're following along, make sure that you are putting them on opposite sides when you're doing this so that it looks right. I'm just going to put them in the corners like this. And then for my saying, I have a walk down memory lane, and that's going to go towards the bottom, like this. And there you have it. A finished album and a finished box. I hope you enjoyed doing this series with me. I sure did. And if you liked this video, click the like button down below. If you want to see more of these, hit subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye!